Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Four o'clock here in the Music City, so you know what time it is. Time for the afternoon stretch here on this Halloween. Bruno, Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If I sound different, do not adjust your radio. Do not adjust your video. It's because I'm wearing a mask right now. That there's not a shot in the world I could possibly wear through this entire show.
You should take it off
it hurts. It's so tight.
A minute.
I can't breathe. But it is Halloween, and I just wanted to get into the season of everything. And Bruno, does this scare you sitting across from you?
It would, honestly. It does scare me. I remember the first time I was in middle school and my friends were taking me to a haunted house. I didn't know what to expect, and it was worse than I could ever imagine, right? Just walking. I was crying before we went in. I was like,
no.
I was like, this is awful. But it's one of those things, you jump off the bridge, you jump off the building. Once you do it the first time, the rest of the time's easier. So that was important that I did that back then. But no, I get scared.
You're not a spooky season guy.
Well, I'm not a very holiday guy anyways.
True, but when it gets time to eat at Thanksgiving, you're showing up with a plate.
I mean, against my will and hungover, yeah.
Halloween, I love Halloween. I personally love it. It's a fun time for me. And it's only fun because I get to put on that mask and then I just scare children. And they show up to do it. It's not like I'm going to find them or anything.
Yeah.
So it's fun for me.
Yeah, it's whatever. Tonight will just be, the normal session at the Bruno house. 100%. Monday Night Football. Excited for that. I already got my play down for it.
Yep. 615-844-5600. If you want to get involved, the Cure hotline wide open. We want to hear from you. Of course, the afternoon stretch coming to you live from the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studios. Devlin McKenzie, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm waiting to get yelled at, but I'm doing okay today.
It's good that you understand where you are right.
I understand.
My biggest problem is not the losses, it's the process, right? It's the way you carry yourself as a professional nowadays. That's my problem, right, Zach?
I agree. So, I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Yeah, because I asked you on Monday going in. I'm like, you got to do some research, find maybe more obscure one. I'm like, lock it down. That's what a lock of the week is. And then we get to Friday, he's like, Sunday Night Football, the biggest spread, and I'm just like. Yeah, and granted, I criticize your betting, and this is weird because also I'm putting myself on a pedestal like I know what I'm doing with gambling is gambling at the end of the day. It's all, very arbitrary. But I don't like the way Devlin is attacking it. That's the result. I can live with the results.
I don't like the way Devlin
looks.
Well, yes. His white face angers me. No, I don't like the way that he goes and doesn't tell us his real picks because he believes that the microphone is attached to Las Vegas, which is attached to whatever team he's betting on, and they're just going to be like, Devlin said this, so you got to make sure it doesn't happen. That's not the truth. There is no gambling, I feel like, and I'm still very new into sports gambling. I'm very, very new into it. But like other things, superstition, whatever you got to do, you wear your dirty socks over and over again until your team finally loses. It doesn't actually affect anything. You talking into that mic affects nothing. And it taints the show because I'm worried that I don't know what you're saying is true if you really believe it because I think you're afraid to say your real bets, which actually I know you are.
Last week, that was a real bet. I was very confident in that.
Did you put skin in it?
I put free play on it.
A free play. What is that? That's not skin.
Granted. The whole play looked amazing. Aaron Rodgers turned up when the team needed him least. So good for you, Aaron Rodgers. You get a little participation medal. Josh Allen, I'm worried for the Bills in the playoff run because Josh Allen, it's one of those things where everyone starts telling you how great you are and you start to believe it and you can do no wrong. He threw some stupid balls. Granted, it's regular season and the Bills are collective good team. I'm just worried when you get in the playoff competition race and you play against the Chiefs, who are as talented as they are disciplined, that might be the deciding factor. So Josh Allen throws these silly interceptions in the red zone, and the whole thing was just it really was it looked like a great play, and it was a total miracle that the Packers even covered.
I I agree with that, but it still putting a free play on it. I mean, you did bet on it, so I guess that does count.
I mean,
I do want you going forward to put your real bets in.
I was confident in that one. But after I made that decision to make that my lock of the week, I didn't second guess myself, but I thought about it, and I said, you know what? It was the Steelers that they played. And what I should have done was I should have followed along with the Steelers instead of the Bills and took Philadelphia spread.
Yes.
That's where I made the mistake.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's where I as soon as it was over, I knew that was where I made the mistake, and that's just unfortunate, and that's on me. I'm not listen. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. I
Hand
made
up
that
right
mistake.
now? Your hand up, right?
It is what it is. I did it. That's me.
Good. As long as your hand's up.
And I do genuinely apologize to you guys. I'm costing Bruno money. I am.
Well, I mean, at this
That's true.
I know at this point, because I usually put 100, but there was one week I put 250, and this week I put 100. So we're at like week 6, 7. It's around $600 to $800 I've lost on these locks of the week. And if I took them the thing is, if you took these locks of the week as straights, you'd be up a ton of units.
Which I have been, and it's great.
It's my personal decision to parlay them, and I do that basically so the crowd knows that I have an insurance on all of our plays together. But realistically, as a group, we're overperforming. Because there will come a time where you and I will lose one, too, and Devlin will have it right. So maybe it's time for me to drop the parlays. And the viewership understands at this point I've been ride or die with them. And I can afford to lose that money, too, because we had that one crazy weekend. I'm still up like $3,300 on the season. That's insane to me. So
well, and to be fair, as a show, if Devlin's a part of the show, he is being backpacked right now. But as a part of the show, we're like 2 and 3 for like 4 straight weeks.
Anything could turn around at any time. I think Devlin just has to be more confident. I don't like how he's like, oh, I got to do this off the mic or we got to do fade. I don't believe in any of that. We just have to keep chopping the wood. You know what I'm saying?
Ugly wins
because
are wins.
Look at what I'm doing with the picks of the week. I was way behind.
Way behind.
I might be in the lead now.
I have to go and look.
I almost
have no
called
clue.
the Lions, too. That would have been insane. Lions with the Dolphins. They just didn't. They were right there.
Just don't have a defense, and now they fired their defensive back coach. So it's only going to get worse, I think.
The best part is like position unit coaches. Like they're more it's more of a symbolic thing to send a message. But no coach you bring in is going to like be able to change anything for the rest of the direction of the season. The NFL is kind of like a mob racket. That's how it works in my head. I've been watching The Sopranos, and
Yeah, see, why didn't you come as Tony Soprano? That would have been a great costume for you to be.
It would have been a good one.
You have the scruff going on for it. You kind of look like it.
Yeah, I would have had to. I couldn't play Tony. Tony is like the white. Tony's like the white northernish Italian type, whereas I'm like the dirty South. That's what I look like. The appearance I give off. I would have had to been one of the capos, but I fit really well in. They all got the guts. I'd have had to work on the accent. It's super.
Coming with a stogie, just
Yeah. But position coaches are just kind of like there are very few really good position coaches. Like when I think of some position coaches off the top of my head, Andy Heck for Kansas City, he's always been extremely consistent with their O-line. But it's basically who you know, right?
Yeah.
It's everyone. The head coaches have guys they trust, and they just bring them along everywhere. So it's not like changing a position coach is going to like differentiate the team all too much.
Not at all. Right now I'm dealing with something that I always deal with once a year, and it's at Halloween, and it's the fact that I wear these stupid latex masks, and they stink. And it's all over my skin, and I can't get rid of it. So now I'm just 2 hours, just know while I'm talking on this mic, my face stinks. And I hate it. And I wore that mask for maybe, 10 seconds? And then took it off. And it's just already implanted in me. If you want to jump in, Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. We have Overreaction Monday coming up in the second hour, so jump in on the Cure Hotline to get ready for that. Before we talk about any of that, I want to talk Titans football. They get the win against the Houston Texans this past Sunday. It's ugly. I mean, it is there is no hiding the fact that the Tennessee Titans right now are as ugly as you possibly could be.
I think the Tennessee Titans are the only team with a winning record that has not scored over 24 points in the National Football League. The Titans are a hard team to watch. It is not fun. If you have fun watching the Titans, call in and let me know, because I personally do not.
No. It is.
And their job isn't to be fun. You know what the Tennessee Titans are really reminding me of right now? Alexander Volkanovski. I'm like, I'm like, this is the most boring. Now, when the Titans get put on the ropes, sometimes they answer, and that gets exciting. But when they're playing against the Texans, we just seen the same story over and over again. They're like recent Israel Adesanya fights. That's all I see when I watch the Titans. Boring.
It's
and that's not their job to be entertaining, though.
No,
it's not. It's to win football games.
They're ugly games. They're ugly. But this is what you get when this last offseason, you put all of your money into the defense, and you don't put any money except maybe the crumbs that are left over to Derrick Henry, and that's it on your offense.
But it makes sense because it's working.
Yeah, no, it's working.
It plays well to the Titans.
Malik Willis was terrible yesterday.
And I'm glad Vrabel came out and said it. Did you see his postgame in the locker room? Mm-hmm. He was like, we win because we have Derrick Henry and they don't.
Yep.
I'm glad he told the entire team that because that's the most true thing I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely.
That guy is – I saw some people like, what else does Derrick Henry need to do to get into the Hall of Fame? Nothing. This guy does not need to do anything else.
He's carrying. And I don't know what the Texans did to Derrick Henry. They did something to him. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You don't go in and put up that many 200-yard games in a row,
against
which
the franchise,
set
the same one.
An NFL record, never been done, against the same team over and over and over and over again, unless there's hate in your heart when you're playing that team.
Absolutely.
It's not just because the Texans are like, well, they're just so bad at rushing. No other player's doing this. Nobody else is doing this to the Texans. It is just Derrick Henry abusing the Texans.
There are no coincidences. Something's
happened.
Something's going on.
They must have, it might be a Bruno Indianapolis Colts kind of situation where the Texans were like, we're going to get you in the first.
And he just didn't tell anybody, yeah.
Yeah, and he just uses it in the back of his head. He's like, they're dead this week. It's like, oh, time to destroy.
Work. Man, I'm telling you, like, insight into athletes, you know how hard it is to get motivated when you have $20 million in your bank account? I have like 1,000 times less than that in my bank account. And it's hard for me to get up in the morning and be motivated to train and stuff like that, right? It's just once you start, the perspective shifts. So you see these athletes saying and doing these what objectively seem like silly things, but in their head, it's the only way they can get motivated.
Yeah.
Like that Colts thing, like if I somehow made it back to the NFL and I got to play against the Colts, like it would unironically motivate me the most anything has in the past 3 years. It's just those little silly things.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, there has to be something.
There's something on there.
There has to be.
Malik Willis, 6 of 10, 55 yards, and 1 interception.
Hey, did they win the football game?
They won the football game.
Malik Willis.
They did not throw the ball in the third quarter.
No, Malik Willis. So I think this tells us two things for the Titans. Malik Willis as a backup with Derrick Henry on the team is simply not bad enough to throw the football game. He can be behind center, and the Titans can still win against teams they need to win against. So if things come down to it, and you have to use Malik Willis, it is what it is. He will never be a competent starter in the National Football League. I think there's too much of a gap and too much to learn for him to reach that level.
I think I tweeted it out last night during the game, and I said the pre-draft first-round pick that was taken in the third round is playing like an undrafted player right now.
Well, there are undrafted players that would play a lot better than him.
Probably.
I mean, look at P.J. Walker and Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Those are guys that those guys went. For what it's worth, I think we're starting to see a difference in development because the NFL is such a what are you doing for me right now league, right? So a guy like Zach Wilson, let's be honest, he's the worst quarterback in the National Football League starting for a team by far.
Yeah.
He 100% is. But if this guy, if he could understand that, go to the USFL, they sign him $250K, so it's not chump change either. And he has time to develop his skills. Because when I mentioned Taylor Heineke, P.J. Walker, these are guys that are 27 years old. Well, P.J. Walker, I think, is 28, 29. And I know Taylor's like 31, 32. Like, that's old.
Yeah.
And so it took him time to get to that point. So when I talk about Zach Wilson, Malik Willis, I think too much expectation is just being put on kids to operate. And I was telling you before the show, like, how intense it is to be, because we talk about this guy should be in the NFL, this guy's so talented, he should be in the NFL. It's just so hard to jump into that world. Only so few people can do it. Peyton Manning, and you can be the most talented guy in the world, and if you're not all in, it's going to chew you up and spit you out. Ryan Leaf, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is starting to lead into just the NFL needs different ways for guys to get to the path because it's just too much pressure on a young guy right now to operate at that level.
You say that, but then Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, like these guys are coming right in and having instant success.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Don't say Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence has been good. He's not been bad, especially this season. If you're taking the season as a whole, he hasn't been bad.
Well, it's unacceptable.
And it's his second year. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's definitely better than Malik Willis.
Yeah, but but Trevor Lawrence is getting paid to lead the franchise. And there comes to a point in your career.
Justin Herbert, that's another one.
There comes into a point in your career where like it's too much of an instant mountain to climb. It's a climbable mountain, but it takes time. It takes steps. It takes resources. You can't just go from Trevor Lawrence. The way Trevor Lawrence is playing right now, next year he won't turn it up and throw 40 touchdowns and 7 or 8 interceptions. That's just not going to happen.
I agree with that. And to get back to the Malik Willis point, my problem is if Malik Willis does have to come back out, giving the ball 32 times to Derrick Henry, which is what we talked about Friday, me and Devlin did, that it's 30 last week, 32 this week, 32 next week, 30 the next week. I mean, you're running down the path of your best arsenal is going to get hurt at some point.
And
and that's sad. I don't know what else you would do if you're Mike Vrabel and the Titans. I really don't know how else you would play that situation because it is your best asset.
No, you play to win, and it comes down to it. I get Derrick Henry is at the end of the day an asset. He's something you want for the long term, but he's also your best football player.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine this scenario too. Malik Willis's weakness is the Titans' strength in a weird way because we instantly saw Malik can't throw the ball downfield. So what do? Go on the back of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
You know, simple, and we win the game. And now if we beat the Chiefs, we're the number 1 seed in the AFC via tiebreaker. That gives us the opportunity. It is and I say ours, excuse me, but the city of Nashville, that gives them the opportunity.
You work for the Titans.
I wish. Put me on the payroll.
Official hype man.
Put me on the payroll. But Malik Willis, since we knew he couldn't throw the ball, it's like imagine if Logan Woodside was in there and they threw 20 passes, we might lose the game, right? So it's a weird way where Malik
he sucks so bad that Derek was like, all right.
Or at least the Titans, they were like, okay, we know we can't rely on this guy. We just need someone behind center.
I like that because that's a real half empty cup to half full cup. I like that. It's a real half full cup view at that.
It's a truly
it's truly
a unique way to look at it.
Yeah.
If you had a better backup quarterback, you might lose that game.
You might lose it. You really might. I will say this. Get Logan Woodside fired up. I mean, you cannot rely on – I would not be surprised if we don't see Logan Woodside inside of the 53-man roster next week. I would not be shocked to see that. We need to run to a break. When we come back, it's going to be Overreaction Monday. If you want to jump in, we want to hear from you. Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600.
Good afternoon. TDOT's got these vehicles over to the side as far as they can get them here on 24 East, here between Briley and Harding Place as you head south of town. Again, it's a little bit busy down through here. More rubbernecking now than anything on 24 East, again, near Harding. Traffic's increasing 65 up into Robertson County. Watch your speed I-40 out through the Mount Juliet area. Hey, Ripley's Gatlinburg is your one-stop destination for family fun, including Ripley's Aquarium, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Check them out online at ripleys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Austin Hardy is your go-to agent in the Middle Tennessee community for the service you desire at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Austin Hardy has you covered. Call 615-810-9999 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. For this afternoon, there's a slight chance of a scattered shower. With more clouds than sun, high upper 60s, with shower chances dissipating early tonight. Fog after midnight, low temperature to 52 degrees. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on Nashville Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's TJ Matthews.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
The afternoon stretch. The best show? I don't know if I can say that, man. I'm going to move on to the next one.
The afternoon stretch. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, Nashville Sports Radio, the afternoon stretch, as we always love to be here with you. If you want to get involved, the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Big weekend of sports, not only football, but we had hockey, we had basketball, we had World Series baseball, which, hey, by the way, Bruno wasn't here Friday. Bruno's bets - Zach's bets, 1-0.
What'd you bet on?
The over in Game 1 of the World Series.
I bet on the Phillies. They were down 5-0. They came back and won.
Yeah,
that was insane.
So we both won, and that's all that matters. But the 6.5, I came on here, and I think I told Devlin this. I was like, I'm going under, and then I saw the 6.5 on FanDuel, and I was like, over. Are you kidding me? 6.5? That's way too little for a Game 1 of the World Series. But all the same, we need to. It's Overreaction Monday today, and if you want to get in, 615-844-5600. All of it brought to you by Lab Canna. Check them out online at labcanna.com. You can get free prizes and giveaways from Lab Canna. All you got to do is call us and give us your overreaction take, and it all starts right now.
Are you worried for your team? Do you need to vent? Well, we're here for you. It's Overreaction Monday, brought to you by Lab Canna East, located at 1006 Gallatin Avenue in Nashville. Jump in now on the Cure Hotline, and let's all freak out together.
Overreaction Monday. So fun, so good. All of it brought to you by Lab Canna East. Talk about them here in just a little bit. We have 3 levels of Overreaction Monday. And in those 3 levels, 1, 2, 3. If you want to get in and you can win these prizes, all you got to do once in a call in, we'll get you in for it. There's 3 levels. 1, Tennessee CBD gummy. Tennessee CBD gummy. I said Tennessee in it. There's no Tennessee CBD gummy. That's level 1. Level 2 is your Karma Calming Caramels. We call them the KCZs for obvious reasons. It's a real tongue twister. Say it 5 times. Try to say it 5 times right now, Bruno.
What again, Tennessee?
No, Karma Calming Caramels.
Karma Calming Caramels. Karma Calming Caracals. Caracal. Karen. I tried.
Devlin, I'm not going to make you try. Your heightened, also level 3, your heightened Delta 8 gummies. All these which you can find at Lab Canna. Bruno, do you want to kick us off?
I will. And I'm splitting my Tennessee CBD, which is our level 1, our DEFCON 1. That's like, things are bad, but there's worse going on out there. Look to your right, look to your left, know that you're better off than your neighbors still. And it goes to the Jags and the Jets. I think the Jets, it sucks because I think really they have a great roster, a tough roster, and they have a culture. They just have the worst football quarterback. I don't know. This is one of those things, man. People look at these guys and they're like height, hand size, and they're like everyone's going to be the next Josh Allen. More often than not, you're just going to get yourself fired than find Josh Allen. Josh Allen, and even then, he still has some issues with him. But Zach Wilson was unanimously the second overall pick in that draft, and the whole time we were just like, why? We didn't even talk about it that much. We didn't talk about him because that was the easiest That was the easiest. This guy's going to get someone fired. Will Levis is going to be the same thing. People are going to be like, "Oh, I love this kid. Yeah, whatever." So
at least he's going up against SEC talent, though.
So the Jets, but I mean, the BYU was good, and they were playing against some good guys. But you just kind of knew like this kid was going to hack it in the national.
What was it?
Football
Senior
League.
year, they played Coastal Carolina. That was their one ranked team, and then they lost to that one ranked team.
I guess so. It is what it is.
Sorry, I brought too many facts to the table here, Bruno.
And I don't like that. So,
but still,
the Jets,
I think it's a fair
you're
one.
on a winning team, but your second round pick, Elijah Moore, is like
I hate it here.
He does.
And everybody gets injured, and they're like, "Well, too bad."
Yeah. So they got issues for being a winning team. That's why you're on level 1. You're a winning team, but you're also in the best division in football probably right now, and everything's on fire. My other one goes to the Jags. Started off nice. They were 2-1 team. They had a big win over the Chargers. They trounced the Colts. And since then, they traded away the player that was really the statistical reason for all those wins. And ETN's playing good, but they just can't put it together. I think Trevor Lawrence I don't think he's a bust, but I don't think he's the next Drew Brees at all. He's a physical specimen. He's
too tall to be Drew Brees.
Yeah, I know. He's a physical specimen. He's just not getting it done. I don't know. So the Jags, for what looked like week 1, 2, and 3, I was calling you the easy divisional champ, and here you are, and now the Titans or whatever. That's just a pure leadership and culture thing. So that's my level 1. Are those two teams?
Devlin.
I'm giving mine to Clemson.
Ooh, there you go.
Clemson. I think they're nervous right now. Every single time that conference loses, Clemson looks worse and worse, and they have a big matchup against Notre Dame. I didn't think this would be a big matchup after watching Notre Dame play throughout the season, but I think Clemson's very, very nervous going into this week, and I think there's a real-life chance Notre Dame wins this game. I'm giving Clemson my Tennessee BD.
I like
Notre Dame just beat Syracuse, too. Syracuse ranked 16th, second-best team in the ACC. I think third-best team actually behind Wake Forest. And if that tells you anything about where the ACC is at, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. Those are your top three teams out of your conference.
Wake Forest got destroyed.
Who'd they lose to?
Louisville.
Yikes.
It was a bad loss.
Big yikes right there. My Tennessee BD gummy, it's going to Anderson Silva. You lost to Jake Paul. And you just are the next lineup of photos that people are going to just give you like all your bouquets and say, well, I mean, Jake Paul beat another 47-year-old MMA fighter.
No, I mean, you're really hitting it. Money is truly the root of all evil in this world. Like, it can make people do things that they'll come to regret. And Anderson Silva was an absolute legend of the sport. Granted, he was getting busted up at the end by Michael Bisping, of all people, he had the longest run of dominance in the UFC it's ever seen. One of the greatest of all times, one of the most entertaining. And now you're not going to be remembered for that.
Nope.
All that goes out the window.
Because first off, the sport that you were in was already niche.
Yeah.
It was already so niche. Now you just got on a Disney Channel kids YouTube page, and you just got beat by him.
And for $500K, you know what that $500K is? About $210 after you pay everybody in taxes.
Yep.
And I hope $210K was. I mean, maybe I don't know your situation, your finances, whatever.
I wonder if he thought he was going to win.
I guarantee you he did.
Because if you win, like you'll get that. You finally somebody beat Jake Paul, and that's what everybody's trying to do, but they're not doing it. And shout out to all the people too that are like, Jake Paul needs to fight somebody who's an actual boxer. It's like the kid's been trying. The actual boxers keep backing out for some reason. That's been like
because you lose to Jake Paul.
Yeah, you're not an actual boxer anymore.
And really, your payout for a loss to Jake Paul, you need an anti-risk factor in there.
Yeah.
And they don't have that. If you fight Jake Paul, you get paid $500K. Which ends up being $210, which is like 3 times less than an NFL rookie for 1 year.
And then
everyone says they would do it, but you don't have a career to gamble with. That's your problem,
And 14,000 people in attendance for the fight. I have no idea what the pay-per-view is. I got to say, this has to be one of the lowest ones because I didn't even see it really marketed at all. I didn't even know. Straight up, I did not know it was happening Saturday.
Yeah.
I had no clue. The only way I found out it was happening Saturday was after he won and Devlin texted us.
Yeah. My dad asked me like 4 times throughout the week, like, are these guys fighting? I'm like, dude, I don't know. And I'm really starting to not care.
When he fights whichever, because he was calling out Canelo, and there's supposedly going to be Nate Diaz next. But whenever that actually happens, then I'll get back into being enthused, if you will, about it. But right now, it's Anderson Silva for me. you had your great career. It sucks that you lost, and people are going to remember this forever. But, just move on, get away from the boxing. He beat Tito Ortiz up, which is good, whenever he did his first boxing match. But It is what it is. What is your Karma Calming Caramels, your KCC?
Let me go to the notes real quick because we got into deep conversation. Easy one. This is, listen, the Raiders are being held back by Derek Carr. All-star roster. No one's running the rock. Josh Jacobs is the second best running back probably behind Derrick Henry this season. Trapped on an absolutely awful team. You have talent like Darren Waller. You have Devontae Adams. And it's just all being wasted.
Yeah.
Absolutely wasted. Behind you knew you had average, and you signed him to elite contract. You deserve the fallout. You deserve it. That's why you get level 2. I mean, Raiders fans should be ashamed of what their team's done.
And Josh Jacobs, he had, 10 carries for 40-something yards. He was like 4.6 a touch. Give it to him more. I don't know.
No, sorry. We have Fresno State quarterback Derek Carr and his brother David is on Twitter like, oh, you guys actually don't know football if you think he's the problem. No, he's a massive problem.
Shout out to me, by the way. I know I'm the only one that took the Saints in that game. Both of y'all took the Raiders, so that was huge.
Yeah, good enough.
Big win for Zach.
Hey, I didn't even think about that. I just was watching the Raiders. I just thought of it from a pure...
You were just dumbfounded.
I was watching the Raiders, and I'm like, these players are in prison. They're in prison. What can you do? Your leader.
They're in a beautiful jail, though. That stadium's amazing.
It is a beautiful jail, but you know how annoying it is? We've kind of had this talk before. Imagine working for somebody, and the quarterback is technically the leader, and you have to look at this guy in the face, and he gives you orders, and deep down, he's awful.
Yeah.
You have no charisma. You're not a fun guy to be around, and you're awful at the game, and you're supposed to lead me?
It's crazy, though, because the end-of-year stats, that's the one. I mean, if you're a Derek Carr believer in any way, that's the one thing you can look back and say, well, look at the 4,000-yard season, blah, 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 blah. And it doesn't – there's something not there for him. But for some reason, the Raiders are just never going to go away from him until he's ready to be done with football, I imagine.
Yeah.
So. He's going to go he's the opposite of Big Ben. Big Ben he's going to retire a Raider. But Big Ben at least was winning in games that got him Super Bowls, things. He's for some reason, he's like this weird anti-Big Ben. Mm-hmm. That he's just still going to be with the team, though. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Hey, Big Ben won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Shout out.
Big Ben does things that no one else can do. And that's true. And Derek Carr doesn't do things that no one else can do.
Yeah. Devlin?
Yeah. I'm giving mine to Zach Wilson. Because Zach Wilson goes into that locker room every single day and he looks around and he sees all the talent that surrounds him. And the losses are on him. I mean, I truly believe Bruno was completely right. Zach Wilson's holding that team back. Sauce Gardner's fantastic. Quinton Williams is fantastic. Garrett Wilson's fantastic. That team has so much potential, and they're being held back by this quarterback who throws some of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. It's like watching Kyler Williams, except he'll make those passes, just scrambles around, runs around for 10 minutes, and then throws the worst pick I've ever seen in my entire life.
Kyler Murray, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
No, Kyler Williams. They did the fusion dance. So the worst quarterback in NFL history.
Fired up. This is just it's upsetting to watch because the Jets are a team that you want to root for, even if you're not a fan of them.
Yeah.
They've been bad for so long, and you want to see them succeed, and they're right there. They're right on the cusp.
Yeah.
But it's Zach Wilson.
Isn't it so crazy that they're just one guy over Joe Flacco sitting there? Had a great start to the season, and they could just easily put him in, and everybody would be like, "Oh, Jets are back." It's right there in front of them, but they just don't want to do it because he's not the future. He's the present that they need, but he's not the future.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's so wild. That's a good point, though. I'm going to go the Texans with my KCC. The Texans, look, 4 straight times. I don't know what you did. Derrick Henry, you should not have crossed this man. I'll tell you this, sidebar. For betting. So pull your gambling ears out. Derrick Henry and the under the next time the Texans and the Titans play. 100%. If Derrick Henry's still there and he's healthy and he's playing, go under on whatever his prop's going to be. Because it's going to be, it was 150 this week. It's going to be 180. You know what I mean? I'm looking at that. It's kind of dumbfounded, right?
I did not know it was a 150.
Yeah.
That is insane. That's got to be the highest prop for a running back almost ever.
He's going to go the under on that. I very much believe it. But outside of that, Texans, you suck right now. You got embarrassed. and you still almost got in the game. You only lost by 7, 17-10. That's all it was. You're expected to suck. So just suck, and that's okay. You're at least building something. I still think Davis Mills is better than people give him credit for. And if he had any kind of offensive line, if he had any kind of – I mean, Brandon Cooks is a good wide receiver, but it just feels like Dameon Pierce has a future. I think that kid is going to be awesome. A lot of people slept on him coming out of Florida. I think he's going to be great in the NFL. Right now, though, you're supposed to suck, so just don't feel like it. Don't feel too bad about where you are right now. Bruno, your heightened Delta 8 gummies. These you have to be 21 or over to purchase, and they put you in a different mental space. Yeah,
so there's a little bit of a discourse, and no one agrees on it because there's. I'll get to the point. This is going to. You need a pair of handcuffs with this one because the Michigan State players deserve to be in jail. This is easily my heightened Delta 8 CBD because you are some of the dumbest people I've ever had the pleasure of watching on a 2-minute video. I have done as much research as possible, looked at all the different video clips, and I have concluded that you're the stupidest people I've ever met in my life. And anyone who supports these guys, they're just as stupid as the people that support the Alabama Jermaine Burton punching a girl. The fact that he's still playing it on the team and and Saban defended him, different story. And I know Saban has that big story about that one guy who's a president of a company who's like, everyone wants to know how we suspend at Michigan State. Well, these Michigan State guys are absolute idiots. The problem occurs with Michigan. They beat Michigan State and the tunnel leads to both locker rooms, which is unique.
Yeah.
So Michigan,
just stupid.
From what I've seen, the Michigan player is trying to go through, but Michigan State won't go into the locker room. They're blocking off the thing, and the player goes by and they jump him. They jumped 2 players actually. Yeah. They jumped 2 players. 4 Michigan State players have been suspended. Jim Harbaugh comes out and he's like, we expect to fully use the law against them because this is not a joke. You just spent 60 minutes on the field. 60 or so minutes on the field, legally allowed to commit crime. Like it's violence out there. It's assault. And that's your chance to assert your will over people.
Yeah.
So if you want to take that outside of the sanctity of the game to a locker room and just go, I'm telling you, there's a lot of football players that don't go to college to play football. They're just there to be idiots. Hey, look at it. There it is right now. I mean, it's absolutely horrid what they were doing to this guy. And the more that they fight, the more Michigan players jump in. I saw one Michigan State offensive lineman try to pull his guy's back like stop, and then the Michigan State player turns around and punches him in the face. I mean, it was just absolute tomfoolery. You guys should never be allowed to play the game of football. It's a privilege to play this game, and if you want to fight people, go do mixed martial arts and get knocked out because you're not tough because you can all gang up on someone 10-on-1. That whole thing was absolutely stupid. If you're someone that I saw someone on Twitter post, they should be suspended, but they shouldn't be charged. This is and the last sentence was, "This is football. Things happen." No, you absolute idiot. You don't get to say that and think you're tough or cool for saying that. That doesn't make you tougher or cooler to say that things happen. This is sports. Emotions get overhyped. You don't assault people off the side.
Well, this is the Devontae Adams stuff all over again.
Yeah.
And this idea of people that are like, well,
emotions just overtook you.
He's a real gamer. He's competitive nature. It's like, no, you don't get to say that. And this is the same thing with Aaron Donald earlier in the preseason where he's taking helmets off and swinging them at players. Like there's a certain line for some reason that football players get to. They get to just do whatever they want, and because in the name of the game, it's completely fine and okay. But if they did it 300 yards off of field property or whatever it is, that's a crime that the normal person and they should be held to more accountability to it. So we're going to talk more about this. We got to run to a break. If you want to jump in, Cure Hotline 615-844-5600. Back after this here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon, Tina. It's had a time trying to move a stalled vehicle over here in a terrible spot, 440 westbound, right near Nolensville Pike. It'll snag you there as you come off 24 onto 440 westbound. It's picked up even more out here on 24 as you try to get past the football stadium. Watch your speed on I-40 out through Mount Juliet. Ripley's Gatlinburg is your one-stop destination for family fun. Check them out online at ripleys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you in trouble with the IRS? Detaxify is the trusted tax relief solution that has an A+ rating with the BBB, 5-star rating from Google, and specializes in the IRS Fresh Start program.
If you have years of unfiled back tax returns or owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, the government has the power to garnish your wages, freeze your bank account, and in some cases, they can now revoke your passport. This is John Zandy, president of Detaxify. Detaxify specializes in the Fresh Start program where we help struggling taxpayers get out of collections or settle their tax debt. If you're being audited or dealing with threatening letters from the government, you may need professional tax relief representation. My team at Detaxify can stop the tax collectors and stop the threatening letters from the IRS or state. Call me now for a free consultation.
Call now, 800-601-7780. That's 800-601-7780. Detaxify offers a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Call now, 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Hey Nashville, Ray here from Run With It. Let me tell you about our sponsor, Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House. And with 4 locations in Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, and East Nashville, they're your home for the best gourmet pizza and craft beers in Music City. Join me on Monday nights at the East Nashville location for poker night. And if you think you know everything, try Wednesday night trivia at both locations. Gourmet pizzas, craft beers, online at BoomBozz.com. Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House.
Hey, it's Sammy Kincaid, host of Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10, listen in as I highlight women in sports from high school to the pros, athletes and administrators. And you know what? Let's talk some ball with women covering the game across the country. Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid is every Saturday morning. Listen in on Nashville Sports Radio from 9 to 10 a.m.
Follow the afternoon stretch on Twitter at Bruno Reagan and Zachariah W. Really, man? You want that? I'm not spelling that out.
The afternoon stretch, Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, we want to talk to you. The Cure Hotline wide open, 615-844-5600. Here till 6 o'clock tonight. We got the Todd Helton Show, Western Kentucky Football Coaches Show tonight, and then joining in progress, Grizzlies basketball tonight. Later on the show, Bruno's Bets will be happening with some Monday Night Football. What else do we got going on? We got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to listen to Mike Vrabel, some of his press conference later on.
Listen to Mike Vrabel and give that insight to Titans fans, but there was a ton of news. I mean, I don't know if you heard Roquan Smith got traded.
Yep.
To the Ravens.
Big stuff going on there.
Christian McCaffrey explodes with the night. There's a billion things we could.
There's tons of things we're going to get into. But your phone call is always the most important to us. 615-844-5600. Let's go to it right now over on line one. Womble, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing good on this Overreaction Monday. How are you boys doing?
Feeling good, looking good.
Feeling great.
Good. Glad to hear it. This is not why I called in, but I just saw it on Twitter because Bruno liked it. You know how the algorithm works.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody you follow likes something, it puts it on your timeline. But the Billy Napier thing with the media member, you guys can get into that later. But
yeah,
hilarious.
I love that you brought it up.
But
yes.
anyways, yeah, my overreactions for today, I have a couple, and I'll start with the least overreacting point. I think the Vols go into Athens this Saturday and take down the Dogs. But my second one may turn some heads. So it all stems from A.J. Brown. I'll never forgive the Titans for trading away A.J. Brown. I think you guys know that, know where I stand on that. You know, built by L.A., you know, type of thing. But my overreaction is this. I think they should have traded away Derrick Henry, signed Deontay Foreman, and kept A.J. Brown. I think if you're going to get rid of anybody on the offensive side of the ball, I think you part ways with Derrick Henry. I know he's done a lot for the franchise, and people are like, dude, you are freaking crazy. They might be turning off your radio for all I know. But, you know, this is a guy that's clearly lost a step from before injury, which is, you know, no shame in that game, you know, hurting his foot the way that he did. But from a business standpoint, Foreman, I mean, look at the yards he was putting up when Derrick Henry was out last year. I mean, we were seriously asking the question, jokingly, is Derrick Henry a system running back? Because here's this guy, Deontay Foreman, that just steps in and replicates what Henry was doing. So that's my second big overreaction. I wish the Titans would have got rid of Derrick Henry, kept Foreman, and been able to keep A.J. Brown.
That's spoken like somebody who played against Derrick Henry in fantasy this week.
That has nothing to do with it. I mean, look, how old is Derrick? I mean,
28.
Tread on his tires, man. It's wearing down, and I think A.J. Brown would be more valuable to this offense right now than Derrick Henry. Yes, I know he ran for 200-some yards against the Texans. Who doesn't these days? He owns that franchise. I mean, clearly, he's writing their checks for them. But I think if you have Deontay Foreman in the backfield, he probably does a lot of the same things. And at least now you've got a weapon on the outside for Malik Willis to try to stretch the field with.
I don't think you're wrong, Womble.
Reactions for today.
Yeah, no, hey, buddy, I appreciate you calling it. I don't think you're wrong. You're preaching to the choir here. I've been big on that idea. I mean, I got people that got so upset at me this coming off season, if you will, talking about trading Derrick Henry for Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. That was like people thought I was crazy. That was before A.J. Brown ever got traded. They were like, no, why would we do that? Then we'd have 2 wide receivers that we'd have to pay eventually. And I mean, now you look at it, Henry's good for the present, though.
I want to ask him about his first point, but I know he's off right now, so I'll just ask you, second best thing I can do, I guess. Do you know what the spread is for the Tennessee-Georgia game?
I do not off the top of my head.
I believe it's 8.5.
I was going to ask you to take a guess, but there we go, Devlin.
I'm sorry. I thought you were genuinely asking.
I'm getting absolutely shafted on my own show right now.
Devlin was so excited, too. You couldn't see it on the camera. Devlin
shot out of my chair.
I mean, he ran across the room.
Anyways, yeah, Georgia's an 8.5
Let me take a
favorite.
guess. Okay. 7.
So Georgia's an 8.5 point favorite. I wanted to get some thoughts on that because that's a super interesting line. It's number 1 and number 2 playing against each other.
Called it, by the way.
Yeah,
I called that right after the Alabama game.
Really, Tennessee should be ranked 1 in my opinion. I mean,
there's a world where it's fair to say that.
Yeah, it's called the real world. Tennessee has dominated every single opponent they played against outside of Alabama, and that was overcoming 15 years of travesty there. So that I can understand why that game's close. But they dismantled a good LSU team. They beat the next Josh Allen last week. They just did that. So they've no close games. Whereas Georgia, they underperform in some. So it depends. I guess this is the big one. This determines who goes to the SEC championship game.
Yeah,
and the loser gets a free pass to the playoff.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
Congratulations, you're in the playoff. I think that is insane. I don't think that's right, but that's kind of been the rhetoric of Tennessee. I'm taking Tennessee with the points.
I'm taking Tennessee on the points. Not taking money line. There's too many points to just. I would rather put a ton of units on that spread than put a little bit on the money line.
Not our keeping it safe picks though.
Might be coming up.
Could be. Have to wait till Friday.
Do you guys know the over under?
Let me guess, 66.5.
65.
Dude, am I not good at this thing?
I guess I don't get a chance to guess.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. Maybe I was going to say 65. That was my answer, so I'm right. You just didn't know it.
Okay.
We got to really quick say our Heightened Delta 8 gummies here. Devlin, do you want to do yours first?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. That's the real answer.
Yep.
Oh, man. And every fantasy manager who drafted him first.
He was the first pick unanimously.
And all the running backs underneath him are doing amazing.
Eckler, amazing. McCaffrey, amazing. Henry, amazing. Cook, amazing.
Alvin Kamara now. Amazing.
Sorry. Fortnite L Dance.
My Heightened Delta 8 gummies before we go to break here. It's Eddie Pinheiro, kicker for the Carolina Panthers, who – I get it. DJ Moore puts you in an ugly spot. You just got to make the 30-yarder. That's all it is. Make the 30-yarder. You win the game, and you lose the game.
Not only do they win the game, Zach, they're in the lead for the conference.
Dude, do you know who won the game? Who won the game?
Marcus Mariota.
Woo! Marcus Mariota, baby.
Do you know who leads the NFC South?
Who is that?
Marcus Mariota.
Woo! MMA, baby, back to the top. I love it. I don't care if everybody in Nashville hates him. I love him. I'm going to be a stand for him for the rest of my life. And MMA's still riding high, baby. Woo!
I can't believe it. The
felt
Panthers,
so good.
The Panthers, for all their antics, had a chance to lead their division. They had a chance to lead the NFC South, and to lose it like that, I mean, just stab Carolina fans in the heart. Why don't you?
Ugh.
I mean, deliver your heart unto
I would not be
thyself.
surprised if Eddie Pinheiro has been fired by the end of this sentence.
No, good guys overcome adversity. DJ Moore put him in adversity. Granted, little do people know how that rule actually works. It's just referees wanting to be part of the show. And let's not – referees have ego just like us. I have a massive ego. A lot of referees out there that don't have – they have little egos. Some have massive egos. DJ Moore takes off his helmet. The referee's like, oh, this is my chance to throw his – he was off the field. You're allowed to take your helmet when you're off the field. He was off the field on the north side. If he goes around the end zone, you're allowed to take your helmet off. That's totally legal. But they called the penalty on him. So
what a throw and catch.
Absolutely.
That guy, I mean,
Walker.
PJ Walker put he had not looked great that whole day pretty much, and then he puts an absolute dime out there. What an amazing one. Overreaction Monday brought to you by Lab Canada East. Check them out online at labcanada.com. Go see them in person at 1006 Gallatin Avenue here in Nashville, or give them a call, 615-835-3474. Take a break. Back after this here on the Afternoon Stretch.
Good afternoon. The police busy with a couple of wrecks, one over in Hermitage at Central Pike at OHB, Thompson at Logan Street. It's busy when you would expect. 65 trying to get through Goodlettsville right now. Steady flow. Traffic continues down through Williamson County on 65 down through Spring Hill. Ripley's Gatlinburg is your one-stop destination for family fun. Check them out online at ripleys.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
NASCAR Cup Series race recap from Martinsville Speedway. I'm Kerry Murphy. Let's take a look. 10-1, Chase Briscoe. Then you got Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Joey Logano. Denny Hamlin at number 6. Keep that in mind because Ross Chastain finished one spot ahead of him at number 5. Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney 3, and Kyle Larson finishes one spot short of the win. To victory lane, Christopher Bell raced his way into the Championship 4 race this coming weekend. He had to win and did just that after getting fresh tires on that final pit stop. And the NASCAR world is going to be talking about this for decades to come. The video game move Ross Chastain did, riding the wall at full speed on the final lap to slingshot around Denny Hamlin by a nose at the line. He advances. Hamlin is out. Unbelievable. All right, the 4 drivers battling for the 2022 Cup Series Championship at Phoenix this coming weekend will be Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, and I can't believe I'm saying it, Ross Chastain. Knocked out, Denny Hamlin at the line, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, and William Byron. A few other stories on the day. Tyler Reddick had to garage his car early after having health issues. He complained of headaches. Chase Briscoe was penalized for his gas can leaving his pit stall, but he was leading in the closing laps and actually had a shot. The season finale race of the 2022 NASCAR season goes down in Phoenix Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on NBC. What will Ross Chastain do for this one? This is the final lap.
This is Staples. So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
Mm-hmm. We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
Huh. What will Staples think of next?
Right?
No, seriously, I'm asking, what will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best-kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit staplesconnect.com/shipping for details.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey, football fan. The 2023 Commodore Sport Event posters are out and brought to you by these great sponsors. Master Battery, Ewing Bass Garage and Transmission, Nationwide Business Brothers, Parker & Watts Insurance, Firefly Pediatric Dentistry, Joe Line Concrete Service, Affordable Building Cleaning, Morton Plumbing, Shane Trucking and Excavating, Hargrove Body Shop, Frederick & Clark Realty, LLC, Richard Courtney. Brought to you and paid for by Prestige Marketing, LLC. Visit them online at prestigemarketingllc.com. A show called The Afternoon Stretch is a stretch. Calling it a show. The Afternoon Stretch.
First hour of the afternoon stretch coming to a close. Second hour coming up here till 6 o'clock. Remember, we got the Todd Helton Coaches Show, WKU Western Kentucky Coaches Show coming up at 7.
Just find the most convoluted way to say
know,
it. Kentucky University.
That
Western
was the
KU.
worst. I'm getting high off the fumes of that mask still that I put on for 5 seconds. But then after that, we're gonna have Grizzlies joining in progress. Have some Grizzlies basketball going on here as well. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studio. If you want to get involved, the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. R.I.P. to Brian Harsin. He's no longer with Arby's. He's not a store manager at Arby's anymore. No, but he's no longer with Auburn. And that was one of our best. That was our first famous person to watch the show.
Yeah, I know. I got a call from Auburn about the coaching job, but it wasn't actually Auburn. It was a guy named Arthur Brown, and he was like, quit walking on my lawn. So it was 2 different things. But I think Auburn's going to hire me.
I think they should.
I could have done a better job than Brian
I would have done at least the same job.
Brian Harsin, he could just never recover from the rumor of him getting with a hot young lady, which is a hard rumor to recover from, I guess.
Well, and he also, the rumor was that, and then his wife was like, it's cool.
Hey,
and then everybody was like, oh, I guess it isn't a bad thing then.
Urban Meyer's wife.
Yeah, that's another one. She was just like, yeah, it's cool. I'm also cheating. That's just all that their posts. Shout out to whatever coach's wife eventually says that. Just
And
like, I also cheat.
Shout out to every media guy that falls for a media trap on a hot mic.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. Hold on to that one. We're going to talk about that in the second hour. That's a little teaser for you there. If you want to jump in, Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. First hour's done. Second hour coming up.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The man accused of attacking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, is now officially facing federal charges of assault and attempted kidnapping. For 5 hours, the Supreme Court heard arguments on the future of affirmative action in college admissions.
It was pretty clear now that the smoke has begun to clear a little bit that this is a conservative majority on the Supreme Court that's ready to roll back the use of race in college admissions across America. And that will be a very significant shift in how higher education is run, particularly at the most selective institutions.
ABC's Devin Dwyer. A judge has scheduled a 2-day sentencing hearing for the man convicted of murdering 6 people when he drove his SUV through a Wisconsin Christmas parade. Powerball jackpot's now grown to an estimated $1 billion as players make plans for their imaginary winnings.
Just taking a long shot like everybody else, just hoping it happens, and if it does, I'm going to bless a lot of other people with it.
Drawing is tonight. This is ABC News.
Dr. Travis Stork here to tell you about a great pain reliever called Salon Pass Pain Relieving Patches. Salon Pass is pain medicine in a patch. You stick it right on sore muscles for up to 8 hours. Clinical research has shown that people that used Salon Pass reported less pain with improvement in mood, sleep, and the ability to work. Safe, effective relief is one peel and place away. Salon Pass, it's good medicine.
Dad, I don't feel good.
I'll grab the Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey.
Isn't DayQuil just for parents?
Actually, Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey is just for kids, specially designed to treat kids' most bothersome cold symptoms quickly with a honeylicious tasting flavor kids like.
You know what else kids like?
DayQuil Kids Honey first, then video games.
Deal.
Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey. The kids' honeylicious daytime coughing, congestion, stuffy head, stuffy nose medicine. Safe for ages 6+.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs, or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Line, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Get all your NASCAR news every weekday right here on The Final Lap. Hey, it's Kerry Murphy, and Christopher Bell had to win and did. He is racing in the Championship 4 at Phoenix this weekend. But everybody's talking about how Ross Chastain rode the wall to beat Denny Hamlin at the line. Up next is the final race of the 2022 NASCAR season. So grab all the latest NASCAR news, race recaps, driver interviews, stats, and info every single weekday. Wow, right here.
Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now on the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Second hour of the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, a.k.a. Zach Williams, here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. If you want to get involved, Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. We want to hear from you here till 6 o'clock, till we get out of here for the night, Halloween night. I love. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
It's a tough one. I'm a Reese's guy. I go to Reese's. And the only reason I had to think about it was because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Reese's have the least convenient packaging on the planet.
They are so inconvenient.
Absolutely.
They have a wrapper around it, then they have a cardboard flat piece inside of it, and then they have a wrapper around the chocolate.
I fully believe
it's 3 steps before you ever eat it.
I don't know how much they talk at Reese's corporate, but something has to be done about just the way that the candy is contained. It's too much. Because it would be the most dominant product on the market if they could get past that. But it's been 20-some years. My entire life they've had this.
It's
annoying. So I was tempted to go with Hershey's, but I'll stick
That's
with
a pretty
Reese's.
base answer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
And
just
I'm a base
good
dude.
chocolate.
Yeah.
No frills.
Simple.
Yep. Good every time. You're never going to be like, ew, this Hershey sucks. You're just going to be like, this tastes good.
My come from behind dark horse kind of candy, Almond Joys. Love coconut.
That can burn in hell.
I have to mention this. Are you guys Dots guys?
Yes.
Why? That is foul.
I love it. They get stuck in your teeth, and then it's just hours of enjoyment. And they taste good.
It's like candy corn. I can't stand candy corn.
See, I'm a candy corn guy. I like candy
Halloween
corn.
guy.
I'm a big Halloween guy.
Yeah.
Love Halloween. What's your favorite Halloween candy, Devlin?
Peanut butter cups by a mile. Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay,
are
well, I was
going to
say, because you said peanut butter cups. You didn't say Reese's, so I didn't know if you're just getting like.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. There's not even a close second.
But isn't it the worst when you go to buy Reese's and there's just 2 of them?
I don't have a problem with that.
You know I
always get the king sized ones.
There's
so
4.
Yeah.
And you're still like, this isn't enough Reese's for me. I want more Reese's. Starburst.
Good call.
Starburst are solid. I'll always love Starburst.
I like chocolate stuff more than fruit stuff. That's just me.
I like stuff with sugar in it.
Yeah.
I do not like licorice. I'll tell you that straight up.
Yeah, it's what
Twizzlers, all that kind of crap. That's for the birds. You can throw that away. I don't like any of that. Nick on Twitter says dark chocolate is better than milk chocolate. False.
There's a mood for it. Like right before your own funeral.
Yeah, you know the mood I'm in when I'm like, you know what? I want dark chocolate. It's when I try to tell myself I'm going to start eating healthy, and I'm done eating milk chocolate, so I'm like, I'm going to have dark chocolate. It's healthy, and I hate it.
God. That's the greatest misconception.
You're like me for real, aren't you?
Yeah. No, that's the greatest misconception. I never once would be like, I'm trying to eat healthier, and then I eat dark chocolate as a substitute.
Because I'm like, I need candy. I need that sugar. It's addicting. That's my vice. Yeah. Candy.
Yeah, candy's a big one.
Another slept on Halloween candy that I think people don't give. They'll never like think of it first off top of their head, but it's always good. Is 100 gram bar.
Yeah,
those are always good.
I like the Mr. Good bars,
Yes.
the offshoot of Hershey's.
They got little nuts in them.
The thing that worries me is like we live in a world where there's so much change, right? Everything we do, all of our mediums, on the way we absorb content, every 3 to 5 years, there's like a drastic change that we all just adapt to. But throughout our entire life, the candies stayed the same. Does this not bother anyone else?
I don't know. Starburst seem like they're like a mutant of themselves now because they still make Starburst, but then now they have like Starburst Puffs, Starburst Gels, Starburst Gum. They're just like wildly hitting every aspect. I wouldn't be surprised if they have Starburst chocolate soon.
It's like we grew up and the brands like solidified themselves as top of the market, and now no one can compete with them. So that we're just cursed to live with Hershey's and Reese's.
Where are we at with Peeps? How do y'all feel about Peeps? Devlin's not a Peeps guy.
I don't even know what that is.
The little marshmallow birds?
Easter candy. Yeah.
Easter candy. Yeah. They make a strawberry cream one. Make you slap mama so good. I like that one.
The holiday versions, they don't do it for Halloween, I don't think. But Reese's Cups for Easter, the eggs, different.
What are you talking about? They make the Reese's pumpkins.
Do they make the pumpkins?
Yeah.
Okay. I know they do
not
the
a
tree.
Reese's fan.
You just stole my. I was literally about to go ahead.
I know they do the tree for Christmas and the egg for Easter.
Fake Reese's fan.
I was about to go on a rant. And I was going to be like, this is going to be so unique of a conversation. But I was going to say Halloween doesn't even have the best candy. It's easily Easter.
Easter does have the best candy. A heavily chocolate-dominated world for Easter.
Yes. And it's just new architecture for the candy. It's a different way to enjoy it.
But you know what Christmas has that I don't even know if anybody, I don't know if they are even. Well, the trees are good. But the cordials, I think that's what they're called. That's just what I ever grew up listening to my dad call them, so I'm like, oh, they're cordials. They're the chocolate-coated cherry cream stuff. You know, it's got like the cherry inside of it, and then it's got like the creamy stuff on the inside. That's the best one out of all.
Let me tell you.
You have 2 of those, and you're like, I have diabetes now.
Yeah, Halloween and Christmas. There's like the 3 months of the year when those sugar cookies, but it's not like normal sugar. They're like a softer brand of sugar cookies.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They're the ones in the plastic, like the plastic shell, and they have like yellow cookie and then like whatever the icing is. Those are god-awful.
Oh,
I hate those. The way people look at candy corn is the way I look at those.
Nah,
I can't. They're dry. They don't taste good.
You get milk.
No, they're terrible. I hate dry, cakey stuff. It's the worst. You gotta be moist. Give me a moist, cakey stuff.
It's interesting, like the culture of food we go into in the fall, because Halloween is just like ton of candy. Then it's like Thanksgiving, and it's like, all right, let's get our life together and have a real meal. And then Christmas, it's like, let's just drink eggnog.
Have you had eggs in drink form?
Have you had alcohol, eggs?
It's because it gets winter and cold. Everybody's just inside. There's nothing else to do but eat.
Yeah.
And watch television. That's basically it. Or play basketball. You can play basketball. That's a wrestle or judo. You can go to Reagan Martial Arts and you can get on the mat.
November 12th, we're going to have a big group. IBGF Nashville. Come out, hang out. We're going to get so drunk afterwards. It's going to be awesome.
At Reagan Martial Art?
No, it's going to be in Nashville. So that's
where
why
at?
Williamson County Ag Expo. So about 30 minutes south.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we need to be promoting that for you then.
You should go. Yeah, someone actually did sign up for my division, so I will have a match. It's going to be fun.
Good. That's the match. Yeah, okay. Well, Zach will also be there. Special guest appearance, Zach.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, over the weekend, you know who I got to meet? If you follow me on social media, you saw it.
Who?
Jerry the King Lawler.
Really?
Pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy. Hendersonville.
So I don't follow you on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't.
I was in another world.
But you like the photo, I think, which is the best part.
That's the most me thing.
You
to
just
do.
saw my name, you're like, yeah, sure.
I'm a blind support type of guy. Like, I'm not genuinely interested in your lives, but if you're my buddy, I'll always throw you the likes.
The Hendersonville Commandos baseball team dugout club threw the first ever, I didn't even know this, I thought it sure happened, but it was the first ever wrestling show in Hendersonville. It never happened before. It's called Commando Chaos. Happened over the weekend. Fun times, a lot of cool people out there. And Jerry the King Lawler got to go out there, and he made a special appearance. Found out Jerry bought a house in Hendersonville, lived in Hendersonville for a long time, didn't know about it. That was cool. It was a cool guy. Got to meet him, took photos with him, hung out with him for a little bit. It wasn't like because it was a first time event, so it wasn't like overly popular, overly like crowded or anything. So you really got some like intimate time with some of the people there. And then a buddy of mine who went to college with, he was in the match and got on the card, and it was fun. It was fun. They had pizza and drinks and stuff, and it was a good time. Right there at Ellis Middle School underneath the dome.
Yeah.
Had not been in my middle school in 15 years.
We got dude. One of my, I don't think I'll ever get big enough because you always want to go on the biggest platform, but I would love to do like a day. Like,
I thought you meant like in real life. I was like, what is big enough for Bruno?
Well, just be big enough to like be able to go on the WWE for like a day. That'd be the coolest thing ever. Like, just get in and do like a 5-minute.
Who was it? LaMelo Ball. That him and LaMelo Ball and like his family.
It was him and his family. Yeah.
And they went there and they kept saying the N-word.
Yes.
And Vince McMahon was somewhere in the back, like, well,
beat
they're
that
never
ass. That's what they were saying.
Yeah. And they never got back. No. Completely unfeathered out there, and Vince McMahon was somewhere just.
It was awesome.
Fuming, probably. All right, let's bring it back in now. By the way, real quick, Devlin, any shot you know who Jerry the King Lawler is?
No, not at all.
You're the only person I've ever met that doesn't know wrestling.
I don't know anything about it.
Wow. No, he was legendary.
That's crazy.
Sorry, guys.
WWE Hall of Fame, King.
Nope.
Punched Andy Cohen in the face.
I know John Cena.
Okay, good. That's a start.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. If you want to jump in, 615-844-5600, the Cure Hotline. We want to hear from you. Earlier today, Mike Vrabel gave his Victory Monday post-game, post-show presser, whatever you want to call it. He gave his presser over at St. Thomas Sports Park. Let's listen into a little bit of that, and we'll talk about it on the other end.
Meant that we have to run the football. We have to be able to create a lot of things off of that. Defensively, we have to, make sure that we're not giving up X plays and all those things. And, there's a physical style of brand that we want to play with. And, that's going to have to change based on who we play sometimes. But I think, our opportunities to rush the passer have to come from stopping the run and make sure that we're not giving up people, easy yardage there.
You're in a situation where you have to go with Malik again. What gives you the confidence in a different game where there might be more demands on him that he can handle more?
Well, we'll continue to progress through and take a look and see where we are this week of practice. And, I think it's a good opportunity that he got his first start. And I know he'll learn a lot more. Or he'll learn from the things that he can correct and fix. And that's the way we'll approach it. We'll try to make sure that there's a plan in place and that everybody's confident in it and see how the game goes.
How much do you think the week off helped Ryan, and how's he doing maybe a week later?
We'll know more when we practice on Wednesday.
I know the illness came out late too. Is he over the illness portion of things?
We'll see on Wednesday when the injury report comes out.
Like the offensive line's play yesterday, what did you see on tape?
Well, I thought that they were into it. Obviously, trying to get Derek to the second and third level. It's hard to block the post safety. We run out of guys, and so Derek was on that guy a lot. And I felt like, sometimes they moved and we caught them, and sometimes they didn't move and we caught them. But then sometimes they moved, they caught us a couple times there. And but all in all, I think that they were into their combinations. There's things that they can improve on, but there were things that we had talked about trying to get better at that they certainly that showed up.
Christian Fulton said yesterday that he wants to take that next step towards becoming a better player. For you, especially after seeing that game yesterday, what have you seen that has allowed him to do that?
Well, I think this league is about everything that you want to do is about the next week. So I'm glad that Christian wants to try to improve. I hope they all do. Christian knows that we hold him to a high standard, but he's going to have to do that against Kansas City. Number one passing offense in the league, number one for points. So this week would be a good week to continue to improve and cover and tackle like he's done. And he's playing man. He understands the concepts most of the time in zone. So that's been good to see.
What does it say about Jeff that he was able to turn in a dominant type performance on an ankle injury and not able to practice all week?
Can't say enough, about him as a player and a person. We talked about his technique and how he's improved on that. I think that continues to help him. This team means a lot to him. We need Jeff to help us perform.
Talk us to the play where Chig was pretty wide open on the right side and what Malik saw and did.
Well, I'm not going to be able to speak for what Malik saw or did, but, we just got to get it out of our hands sooner.
How much of your defensive success here in these recent weeks is predicated on being able to do it with just four guys up front, not having to bring extra?
I think that's, part of it. Yesterday it was about stopping a run and forcing them into longer yardage situations and then affecting the quarterback. And, sometimes it was the coverage, sometimes it was the rush. Bud Sack was great coverage, 3rd and long in a red zone, and quarterback had to hold the ball. There were other times where the rush helped the coverage, and I think that's a great way to be able to play defense, is not to rely solely on one area, but try to let everything work together and have everybody do their jobs.
Simmons and Tart make kind of a good pair. Do the skill sets complement one another in any way?
Well, Tier continues to improve and be disruptive in there, and I think they communicate well. Even on the first play of the game, you saw Tier out there hustling. On the screen they try to throw to the tight end, and so he continues to improve. He affected the quarterback a few times there late in the game. I don't know if they necessarily complement each other. I think that they both work in there a lot. The more I've said this, the more the Tier can play for us, I think the better that we are. But he's got to play up to the standard and the effort and which we expect. So he's working on that and trying to do that, because if he's not running to the football, then we're not going to have him out there.
Does his improvement, I guess gradual improvement, kind of lessen the attention a little bit on Simmons?
I mean, I think Jeff's still going to get plenty of attention, whoever's over there.
Mike, you alluded yesterday after the game about how you guys didn't panic with the rushing yards you gave up in week 1, and you believed it to be a good defense. The numbers of the first 2 weeks defensively obviously not great. Since then, they've been pretty good. Where did the stick-to-itiveness or resolve stay with from that group, do you think, that allowed you to get back to what you do best?
Well, it's a long season. It's a long season. You have to, believe in something. You have to have a foundation, things that you teach, defense that you've been running, that players just becoming more comfortable in it and, having some success. And, I know there's going to be some tweaks each and every week, but, ultimately you just kind of settle down and be able to make plays and stop giving up X plays. And, I think that, but every week, you have to be able to come back and say, who are we playing? What is it that they do well? And what tweaks are we going to need to make, and how much of our normal stuff can we carry through? Because that's the stuff that they know, and they play fast and, are able to execute.
How big was it that the defense was able to help you overcome some problems early? The 2 turnovers
the sudden
and the missed field goal.
Yeah, the sudden change was huge. The miss, like you said, being able to back them up, and then when they get the ball down there on the 10-yard line, actually pushing them backwards there as well, keeping them out of the end zone, holding the 3 points.
Negative 26 yards of offense after those 2 turnovers.
Well, we just have to do that. We have to play that well when we don't turn it over.
As you look back to that championship game against the Chiefs, you guys have had 2 consecutive division titles. Do you feel like that was kind of, I know it's a loss, but do you feel like that was kind of like a launching point into the success that you guys have had the last couple years?
Toronto, I haven't thought back about that. I haven't. I don't. I just try to continue to push forward, figure out what we need each and every week, and then kind of go from there. So I know there's going to be some players that have played in that game, be some guys that different players, and we're just continuing to try to build and figure out how we win each and every week.
So there's a little bit of Mike Vrabel from earlier today, a whole lot of good stuff to talk about. I mean, the obvious elephant in the room is the Malik Willis side of things. I don't really know how you have an answer for that, how it's been bad. He kind of was shifting away from the answer as well. It's just not as good. And once again, I don't think the Titans have a big future lined up for Malik Willis. He fell to them in the draft, and it was just, we could need a quarterback in the future. Well, they will. Ryan Tannehill's not coming back after this year. Especially now being injured.
This year, he doesn't have another year on his contract?
No, he does. They're just going to buy him out. This was his heavy year, though. It's going to be the most cap hit. After this, it drops off significantly. So they have options to get out of it cheaply compared to having him over the next 2 years, which I think he's got 2 more years in his contract.
I wonder what the Titans' plan is. Veteran or... Personally, I think it's vet way more than draft.
Sam Darnold.
I think it's 87%. And don't ask me how I do the numbers. I went to Vanderbilt. 87% chance they get a veteran, someone who's been in the league 2+ years over a new draft.
It would have to be, because they're gonna be too high to get a good draft pick for a quarterback without giving up a big piece. So it's not like they're going to be sitting in a good spot.
And you don't want to be the Colts. You don't want to go Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, right? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with how they approach this.
There's a real side to this that, I don't know on the top of my, because you're not going to strike oil twice like with Ryan Tannehill. You're just not going to find another Ryan Tannehill who's going to step in and be the next Ryan Tannehill on the Titans. You're going to need a new quarterback going forward, but your future is not with Ryan Tannehill. And your future's definitely not with Malik Willis. 55 yards in a game is what punters do when they just throw occasionally on a fake punt. Not what a quarterback who played
Odell
every
in the
snap.
Super Bowl had more yards, Or
Yes.
not the Super Bowl, but the playoff.
Yes. Christian McCaffrey might have had more yards throwing the ball. And that's the real side of it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to have to figure out something. That I do know for sure.
Well, we know some things about the Titans. They don't like paying money. So they're not going to get a $50 million
At least not the
quarterback.
offense. Yeah, no.
Yeah, they're not going to get what does it cost to have a quarterback that's elite? About $40 to $50 million. They're not doing that.
No.
The most they'll pay is Ryan Tannehill, Carson Wentz money, 38 million. And they're not going to do that again. So, we're going to downgrade essentially from a financial
Where's Derek Carr at in his contract?
Oh, he's got years.
He's got years.
They just re-signed him.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
true.
He's got years.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find someone on the back end of a team that you think like this could, I don't know. Cooper Rush? Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, you take the one or the other away from the Saints? I don't know.
Yeah. Andy Dalton.
But he's really old.
Yeah.
Really old.
Yeah, I don't know what the future is.
I do have it up. A couple notable quarterbacks that are entering free agency next year. Lamar Jackson's not going anywhere.
No.
He could, though. Hey, he could. If you're going to – they just signed Roquan Smith – or, sorry, they traded for Roquan Smith, who has also going to be needing a big deal, and they gave up a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. They're not just going to – that's not a one-half-year rental.
Guys.
They're going to have to pay him and Lamar Jackson.
I would not be upset if the Titans just gave the house, the capital, everything away for Lamar.
Yeah.
I truly believe
I wouldn't either. Who else is it, though, Devlin?
We got Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Cooper Rush, one of them, Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke's one of them, Case Keenum. There's a couple more, but those are really the notables.
For the show, I hope it's Taylor Heineke.
That would be insane. There's no shot it's Taylor, though. He's like Logan Woodside-esque height, toolkit. I think Taylor's just one of those magic moments where no scout is going to look at him or GM or personnel guy is going to look at him and be like, let's trust him for a year or two. He'll probably just re-sign with the Commanders again for another $1 million. And his contracts are going to be 1 year, 2 year.
How are you the Commanders? And twice now this guy's come in, saved the day twice, and you're like, yeah, we should give $30 million.
He has a better starting winning percentage than Kirk Cousins.
He's good, man.
He's 10-8.
He's a winner. He's a winner.
You want to know why? Because this is why Taylor Heineke is a super smart guy, genius level when it comes to football. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying that because he's my friend. He's just genius level. It's like that. He's going to get into coaching if it didn't work out. But you know what he does when he gets out there? Where's Scary Terry?
Yeah, finds his talent.
Where's Terry? That's the line you have to tread. Find your talent and be smart enough to operate the offense. So he takes it down a step. That's why he's good, and that's where I feel like a lot of quarterbacks are like, I got it. Carson Wentz, I guarantee you, he's like, I got to operate this offense at a high level and make sure everyone's doing everything right and go through my read progressions. Where's Terry? Throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
Taylor underthrew him, but you know what? Terry ripped the ball out of the guy's hands.
Yep.
That's what makes you a good quarterback.
We got to run to a break. Before we go to that break, one of the things I love about betting on the NFL is that I'm always finding new players or game props that I like. And what's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout. Perfect for tonight's game. You got Joe Burrow over in the passing yards. That's an option. Nick Chubb to score an anytime touchdown. That's a good one. I see one here on the read. Jamar Chase over in receiving yards. Take the under. Take the under. I don't think Jamar Chase is going to play at all, so that one's out of there. But you can do it. You can build them all types of way. We're going to have Bruno's bets later on in the show. We love doing the same game parlays. I'll tell you straight up, I am an unders guy today. I'm an unders guy. There's something in the air that I think it's an unders game. I really do. I'm in it. But same game parlay is just one of the reasons why I bet with FanDuel. There's so many other good options. I love live betting, ease of use, fast withdrawals. There's so many good things. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay bet. So lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS, the afternoon stretch. That's promo code TAS, the afternoon stretch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Good afternoon. I still see a pretty good delay trying to get up through Robertson County and White House on 65 going northbound. If you head towards Portland, give yourself a little bit of extra time. Pretty slow up through there. Heavy as normal over here on 40 east at Fessler's. 24 starting to increase with that traffic headed out towards the Murfreesboro area. Hey, attention, Dentist Dental Staff School can provide you with qualified dental assistance. For more information, just Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Hey, it's Patton Cook from Run With It. Let me tell you about my friends over at Smiles by Design. Dr. Dwayne Jones and his team focus on providing you with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Smiles by Design are one of the few practices that offer state-of-the-art, needle-free cavity fillings. I started going to Dr. Jones 2 years ago, and he has completely changed my smile. They are located at 105 Threet Industrial Boulevard, Unit 1001 in Smyrna. You can visit their website at drdwaynejones.com for more information, or you can call them at 615-355-1033. Again, their number is 615-355-1033, or you can search for them on social media at Smiles by Design. So be sure the next time you're looking for dentistry services, give my friends over at Smiles by Design a try. And don't forget to tell them Patton sent you.
If you need a staycation or planning a trip to Music City, stay at Bento Living Chestnut Hill. Voted the best boutique hotel in the city by the Nashville Scene. Bento Living is located on the edge of bustling downtown and boasts on-site dining, shopping, live entertainment on the rooftop, and free fitness classes. Come experience Nashville like a local. Visit BentoChestnutHill.com to book your Music City vacation today.
It's a Bill King Show.
Lane Kiffin. Let me get this straight. Bill, smooth-talking James Franklin just lost a quarterback recruit to Sun Belt Billy. Put him on the hot seat, Bill. The only thing James Franklin is good at is working the coaching carousel for a raise each year. He's really good at that. He's very, very good.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The show that makes the average person say, hey, I can do that. The Afternoon Stretch.
So much to talk about, so little time. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams, a.k.a. Zach Williams, here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. If you want to get involved, Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Jump in. Where do we go with this? I want to get around. I want to get around some of the topical things that have happened today, because a ton has happened today. Brian Harsin, we mentioned that a little bit, out at Auburn.
Yeah, apparently Lane Kiffin is the media front runner to replace him. Also, Auburn hired a new AD, so it was like the first thing I guess they do is just fire the head coach.
Yeah,
which it needed to happen.
He was on the way. I mean, it was kind of you saw it. The writing was on the walls, and he wasn't helping himself out by not winning. I mean, that's just if he was winning, you give them to change their question and make their mind up differently. But there was no way to really do that with losing. So that happened. Then you also had the Roquan Smith trade from the Bears to the Ravens. Where are we at with that? How do we feel about that?
The whole conversation shifts back to Lamar. How in the world are they going to pay both of those guys?
I have no idea.
We didn't even think they were going to pay Lamar. So I don't know. I'm genuinely just shocked because Roquan wants to be the highest paid linebacker that plays off an edge.
Yeah.
So
and arguably he deserves it.
Yeah.
I think he's leading the NFL in tackles right now.
Yeah, I think the Bears they got a decent amount for him, and if you're not going to pay him, Bears got off. So if the Bears have a strategy, stick with it, and get ready to. Let's face it, Bears also need a new quarterback. Justin Fields is never going to be it.
It's so strange with Fields because on paper it looks good, like he looks good. He looks good until the ball leaves his hands when he goes to throw.
Yeah.
What game am I thinking of? Was it against Washington? It might have been against Washington on that Thursday night that Carson Wentz got injured. They're in the red zone. They dial up a perfect play. It was a perfect play, a little like post route by the tight end. It's 10 yards out to the end zone. He's in the back of the end zone. He's all alone. All Fields has to do is just get the ball to him, and he overthrows him by 20 yards.
Some guys have no touch on the ball, and some guys do. Yeah, I mean, what you say is an intangible thing. It's something you can see and measure. Aaron Rodgers, when the ball leaves his hand, like a SpaceX rocket, right into the pocket.
Devlin, was that not one of the worst rocket noises you've ever heard in your life?
I can't even keep it together.
Devlin, you're gonna need to cut that out, and we're gonna need that as a clip going forward. That one's rude. That was good. You're right, though. Great point. Shadowed by an even better situation, but great point.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, when you watch the ball leave his hand, it's a thing of beauty. When you watch it leave Justin Fields' hand, I mean, and it
looks like it leaves as a question mark. It's like, I don't know where I'm going.
Everyone's trying to find the new prototype of quarterback. They're trying to find Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. So you get guys like Trey Lance and Justin Fields who just don't have the arm talent to be that. You know, things have to start from the arm talent first. And granted, Justin Fields, it's hard when you play at Ohio State because you dominate everybody. I had typically against worse competition until the last 3 games of the season. So it's hard to measure those things. Trey Lance, a little bit of a similar situation. It's just hard to measure those things. But it's not hard to measure it from, Lamar's point of view.
Do you think the Bears are done trading? Because, I mean, Robert Quinn now, Roquan Smith. It's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably done trading. If they did any more trades, they would have just gotten it done because they would have gotten – I don't know. Well, I don't know. We would need a personnel guy's opinion on it and how they do business because I figured you would just want to get it all out of the way. But maybe now they finished the Roquan deal. Now they're going to try and attack their last few pieces.
I don't even know who else they have to get rid of. Eddie Jackson, he's been great. I think he leads the NFL in interceptions. Got another one yesterday. But, yeah.
Trade Kari to the Eagles. Let that man win.
For real, though. For real. Kari's been good, too.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate situation that he's on the worst team right now. Wonder how he's feeling right now, too. Going from the Titans to this, and now they're Titans.
When he retires, we can ask him.
Yeah. Titans, Torrey Carter, who they ended up getting injured. Now they're kind of scrambling at the fullback position, and Kari's just could have easily walked right into that role had he not. I mean, it's not his fault. He went up to the Bears. That's but still, all the same. And we got World Series Game 3 tonight, tied 1-1. Astros, Phillies. Phillies fans are claiming that they're going to give it to the Astros like it's never been given to the Astros before. They're not ready. The Astros are not ready for what Phillies fans are going to do. They're going to boo them extra loud.
Here's the problem. The Astros are a way better team than the Phillies. Does anyone disagree? They just play better.
Yes. No, you're right.
But the Phillies have that magic, so they had that comeback. But I personally think it would be a miracle if the Phillies win another game in this series. If they do, that'd be awesome, and then, who knows what momentum. Momentum's a strong thing, but the Astros are just clearly the World Series champs. They're the uncrowned champs right now, and it sucks.
I hate them so much. You have no idea how much I hate them. Devlin, you look like you were about to say something.
No, I mean, I hate the Astros. I don't. There's nothing else I don't think anybody likes the Astros. They cheated, blatantly cheated.
Yep.
I wish they would have just destroyed the franchise.
I will say that the hope comes tonight in Syndergaard coming out for the Phillies. I really think that guy is a little different from where we've seen him as of late, but he is Noah Syndergaard. He throws gas, and if he can get going early and they dive into Houston's bullpen, I think they can win it. The whole rhetoric though right now of, well, Philly's really going to boo the Astros more than anybody's been booed before. That whole thing's been so annoying to me. Yeah. You're not, look, I get it. You're Philly fans. You could care less about what's going on right now. Because you know why? The Philly Eagles are killing it.
Yeah, that is kind of a... No, I think that's a great point for Philadelphia fans. I wish we had more insight into the discourse around their city. I'm not going to proactively search it out, but the football team is having such a run that I feel like the World Series is kind of getting, a little bit undercovered for that
it's Game 3 tonight, and I really haven't seen much about it. Now, obviously, we're in Nashville.
Yeah.
But still, I haven't seen much about it. I've seen a ton about Monday Night Football tonight, and obviously it's Halloween, so it's going to get overshadowed in that form or fashion. But
I think Philly fans see it as it is too. Imagine if the Titans had to play the Chiefs in a best of 7 and the Titans won the first game. We would all be like, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. They're not going to win. That's like what the Phillies and Astros feel like. It really does.
Who are you picking tonight?
For the game?
Yeah.
Astros.
Devlin?
Taking Philly.
Taking Philly, huh?
I'm taking the underdog every single time.
I actually want to look because we're going to do Bruno's bets coming up here next.
Again, let me guess. Houston is a minus 170 favorite on FanDuel. CoTAS.
CoTAS, as always. Houston is a minus 126 favorite.
Wow, that's good odds. Well, they're road, so.
Over under 8 runs. They hit that easily game 1. They've been scoring a lot of runs. I'm an unders guy in that.
I'm an unders guy in that too. I'm glad.
I think Noah's gonna come out and
You're
throw
scaring me
some
at
gas.
the beginning. You're scaring me at the beginning. I'm an unders guy.
He's gonna throw some gas too on that. Ooh, yeah.
You did say it was an unders day.
It is an unders day.
That's
You're right.
Not strictly Monday Night Football. It's an unders day.
You're right. It's an unders day.
Like
it's
10 units
outside.
on the under day?
Whoa. Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
I have 20 units on Bruno's bets, so.
Okay. Well, all right. Devlin's eyes actually got worried. If you're excited to hear what those Bruno's bets are, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have Bruno's bets right here on the afternoon stretch.
Good afternoon. I'm looking at a crash out in Rutherford County on 24 eastbound just past Sam Ridley. They moved it over to the side, but it can get heavy out towards the Murfreesboro area. They're on 24 going eastbound. Watch your speed. I-40 out through parts of Wilson County throughout the evening. Hey, attention dentists. Dental Staff School can provide you with qualified dental assistance. For more information, Google Dental Staff School. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS. There's so many great deals. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And you get paid your winnings fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 $50 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Before you know it, the holiday season will be upon us, so it's time to start planning. If you're having a holiday party or event this year, then you should consider the Omni Nashville Hotel. Have a festive holiday party for your company, family, or friends at the most luxurious location in Music City. All your guests will experience the award-winning service from their well-trained, courteous staff at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Rooms that are second to none, and venues that will be the envy of all your guests. For smaller gatherings, reserve the private dining room inside Kitchen Notes. For a fun party atmosphere, consider bar lines. And for high-end corporate entertaining, choose Bob's Steakhouse. You can't go wrong when you book your party at the Omni Nashville Hotel. For more information or inquire about availability, just call 615-782-5333. That's 615-782-5333. The Omni Nashville Hotel, Music City's holiday party destination.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more. That's how you do it right there. This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. For this afternoon, there's a slight chance of a scattered shower with more clouds and sun, high upper 60s, with shower chances dissipating early tonight, fog after midnight, low temperature to 52 degrees. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on Nashville Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's TJ Matthews.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
The show that makes you thankful for Braves games. The Afternoon Stretch with Zach and Bruno and Ray.
The Afternoon Stretch, Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams. Oh, man, right at the wrong time. My throat gives out. We are the Afternoon Stretch. If you want to get involved, 615-844-5600. That's the Cure Hotline. Final segment coming up. Coming to you live always from the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. It's time to make you rich.
Now, it's time to make money off of other people playing sports, because taking gambling advice from a guy named Bruno isn't shady at all. This is Bruno's Bets.
Guaranteed to get you that new Balenciaga on your feet. Bruno doesn't know what Balenciaga is.
Balenciaga's the shoes that what's that guy wore?
Yes, they are. A guy did wear them at one point.
And it's just clothes, right?
I mean, it's clothes, clothing brand.
It's no cars, though.
They probably have one. Bugatti might be, that might be where your brain's going to with the Balenciaga. So Bruno bets. We're talking Monday Night Football. We're talking World Series Game 3. We're talking a lot of fun stuff here in Bruno's Bets. Just got to put in there, Zach's bets are 1-0. Last Friday, knocked it out of the park. Overs, easily hit on Game 1 of the World Series. What are we doing with tonight?
Tonight, personally, I think the big story is Jamar Chase is out for like 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is.
They do not put him on IR, though. So what does that mean? I don't know. 4 to 6 weeks, just put him on IR, but they won't do it.
I don't know.
He may be back sooner.
Well, the Bengals.
Did you real quick too? Sorry, I know I cut you off. Did you see what the doctors said too? The reason why they're not putting him on IR?
Why?
His body is just so different that it looks like it heals quicker.
That makes sense.
Than the average human.
No, that makes
like
sense.
He's Wolverine.
Yeah, no,
So-
that unironically makes sense.
Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Anyways, so aside from the real superhuman out there, in what world are the Bengals in any way? Now, I get it's the National Football League, and there's some back and forth give and take with it, and anybody can win on any given day. But what do the Browns have other that the Bengals don't? Nick Chubb, that's it. That's it. They don't have a better quarterback by a long shot. I mean, you want to talk stats guy and Derek Carr, Joe Burrow's in like the elite. He's like an elite quarterback in the stats, but everyone looks at him and he's like, oh, whatever. The primetime Joe Burrow, especially in a duel against Jacoby Brissett, I'm taking the Bengals -3 the whole time. And I'm going to take the under, mainly because the Browns have to rely on a run game. That's going to wind down time of possession, clock. The reason that Tampa and the Ravens went over was because they got into a bit of a shootout. Tom Brady did his thing with 300 yards, even though they did lose. So I'm going to take the under on this one. I'm going to take the Bengals -3. I'd have that in a little parlay. I put 250 buckaroos on it. So it's not. I really am confident on that. That's why I put so many units on it. That's 10 times my normal units.
So what is go through the bets one more time. I know if you're watching the video feed, Devlin's got him going up on the parlay.
Bengals -3.5 and the under 45.5. And before Thursday Night Football, the under was 12-8. Now it's 12-9 on primetime games. Actually, it's 13-10 because of Sunday Night Football. It's the under is still king and everyone thinks there's going to be some big correction, but that's a silly thought. There's just bad football in the National Football League right now, and the Browns are contributing to it. The Bengals have earlier in the season, I think they caught in their stride, and Zach Smith is going to survive off of the back of his hyper-talented team and offense. So I think the Bengals have a chance to score 28, 31 points tonight. I don't think the Browns have a chance really to even compete.
I'm kind of on the board with you on this one. Yeah. I'm a little surprised that I am. I feel, like I said earlier, it's an unders day. I feel like the under is going to hit, but I do have to ask our resident Browns fan and Ohio native, Devlin, he's picking your team to lose.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm a Browns fan, but I'm also a realistic guy.
Spoken like a Browns fan, actually.
Exactly. I've seen years of just nothing but pain and suffering. So I definitely have the Bengals winning this game. As much as I'd love to see the Browns win, Bruno's right. Bengals are just all around better at every single position except for running back.
-3 is a steal of a spread for a game like this, I feel like. I feel like the Bengals could have been -5 or maybe 7.5, but they're 3.
I want to not do it as a parlay for some reason, though. I just did it on FanDuel, code TAS. I just put it on with you. I'm in this with you. I don't typically go in with you on this kind of stuff, but I'm going with you on this one. I'm in it.
Yeah, and every game Cincinnati has won that's definitely been by more than 3, and the only game that's different than that is the one they lost to Baltimore. Who's a good team at 19-17. So the Browns, they're on a 4-game losing streak, and somehow you're going to keep it within 3 and snap. Is it possible? Yes, the National Football League. Do I like putting my money on the odds of a Joe Burrow-led team going -3 and the under of a Browns who have struggled to score?
They didn't have Jamar Chase last week. It was against the Falcons, and that's where I expected them to come to earth a little bit because they started getting hot. Joe Burrow, when I say they, I mean Joe Burrow. They didn't have him. Tyler Boyd went bananas. T. Higgins went bananas. I mean, they're still – like, even without Jamar Chase, they're going to be good.
The Bengals are also only allowing 18 points per game right now, and they're going up against a worse offense than the Browns. So,
yeah.
I like that.
I like it. 45.5 seems like a lot.
And for the Browns are going to rush the football a lot.
Yes. Clock's going to run.
And so if there's literally 2 turnovers or like 3 to 4 punts in this game, the under hits.
I say this unironically because I don't know. Who is wide receiver 1 for the Browns?
It's Amari Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did know that. Actually.
We're out David Njoku. I said we. Sorry.
I mean, if you support that team, you're basically a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for good reason.
He's done well.
He's done well, but
he's had
I just
a couple
think
of 100-yard receiving games.
No, he has done well, but I think for good reason in the fact that I don't think he does well tonight.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the props of Amari Cooper because I'm feeling kind of, I don't know. This week has been good. 52.5 of his over/under.
I kind of like that over.
Really?
Because who else is going to get the reps? It's got to be Amari. It was always Amari.
Donovan Peoples-Jones also at 42.5.
What about on the Bengals side?
Bengals side, Tyler Boyd 59.5. T. Higgins 79.5. Give me the under in T.
And the over in Tyler.
And the over in Tyler.
I would look for Joe Mixon as well. Right now, the Browns have, if not the worst, the second worst run defense in the league.
23.5 right now in FanDuel.
His rushing?
Sorry, his receiving prop.
Okay. His rushing has to be, I'm going to guess, 82.
His rushing prop is 66.5.
Over.
Yeah, I mean, I cooked up a little parlay. I got Joe Mixon over, but, I mean, the Browns' rush defense is absolutely abysmal. It's embarrassing.
That feels good. That one feels good. I'm putting 2 units on that. My units are $4 a piece, if anybody wants to keep track at home. Because I get unit shamed on my own show by my producer.
Hey, sometimes bullying is a good thing, and I think of unit shaming it is. So that's just me.
Well, I mean, you believe this whole narrative I need to put like an eighth of my life savings on it every game.
Yeah.
You got to feel something.
I do feel it with $4. When I lose, I hate it. When I win, it's great. I was so happy. 3-0 yesterday on Sunday.
What if you had $100 on every parlay the past 4 weeks and one pick keeps losing them?
That's not good.
Well,
I would tell that one pick, whoever's giving me that one pick, ship up or ship out. That's really what I would get to.
Yeah, you should figure that out, Bruno.
But I would also, what Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror. Because you're the one putting that pick.
I guess.
Maybe you learn to go 2 legs on the parlay and not 3.
Nah, knowing my luck, I'm going to lose next week, no matter how good of a lock it is. But I'm always confident.
I'm throwing in a World Series one also. Just I'm
Under.
going to give you
gotta
my full card.
It was always the under.
Here's my full card for tonight. World Series Game 3 under 8 runs, I think for sure. I'm going with Bruno's bets, 45.5 points under in the Monday Night Football game with a parlay of Cincinnati Bengals 3.5. I like that as well. And then Joe Mixon over 66.5. Yep. That's my card today.
Yep, my card is I got 20 units on Bengals -3 and parlayed with the under 45.5, and then I took 10 units on World Series under Game 3.
Yeah,
under 8.
You guys want to hear mine?
Yes. Are these real?
These are real.
Okay,
I actually placed this bet. Quarter of a unit. Joe Mixon over 59.5 rushing yards. I moved the line a little bit. T. Higgins over 69.5 receiving yards. Cincinnati Bengals money line and under 45.
I like that.
I do like that. I'm worried the Bengals are going to put up 31 or something, and then maybe we get backdoored on the over. Which is exactly what happened in the Ravens-Tampa game.
Exactly.
Which I lost a lot of money.
What's the weather like? Do we know the weather in the game in Cincinnati? Or, sorry, it's in Cleveland?
Yep.
It's got to be crappy because it's Cleveland, you know what I mean?
Right by the water. Probably windy.
66 degrees. Supposed to start raining at midnight, but it's actually going to be okay. A little overcast. I don't know what the wind's looking like right now. Wind's put in 11 miles an hour right now. That could cause an effect for some kicks, which is what we need.
Not for McPherson. Maybe Cade York.
Cade York? I need a big day on Cade York for fantasy value. That's what we need. But all the same. Everybody have a safe and happy Halloween. Don't do anything stupid. If you want to get scared, hit me up in the DMs, and you can bring your children to where I'm going to be at tonight because I'll be out there with a chainsaw having a grand old time. Giving out candy, though. We're going to see the brave souls that can get by me to get the candy, but it'll be a fun one. Remember, if nobody's told you, I love you and you matter. We got the Western Kentucky Coaches Show coming up at 7, and then Grizzlies playing, joining them on that one as well. Have a great night. Everyone will see you tomorrow. November starts tomorrow, and even more importantly, trade deadline. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what's happening with the NFL trade deadline. Have a great night, everyone.